Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. I have got questions for you. What opens with Candy on fire with indignation that she would be complicit in hurting her brother Benny? And what closes with Kat being complicit with Veronica in setting her place on fire? If you guessed the haves and the have-nots, yesterday's episode, you're correct. And if you want to see how we get from opening to closing, please do. I'm Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. And thank you for clicking and sticking around. Let's go. What? Okay, so let me try to open this back up. So we basically are picking up exactly where we left off. And Candace and Charles are in the hotel. And Candace says she is not giving her bro up. And Charles is like, well, you know, he was on the scene, so it's simple. You know, and Candace is like, I will go to the police and I will turn myself in first before I give my brother Benny up. And Charles is like, wow, I never knew that kind of love. And Candace is like, what about your love for your wife that I read about? What about your children? You love them. And he, you know, Charles is like, she was wonderful. And Candace is like, I love him with every piece of my heart. every piece of my heart. And then Charles is like, I can't have you at my inauguration. And Candy is like, I'm not going. I need air. You need to go. Leave. And Charles is like, you just turned down the gift of a lifetime, Candace. And Candace is like, no, you turned down the gift of a lifetime. Okay, so that's the end of that scene. Then we're at Wyatt's. Anna is answering the door. Wyatt is wondering who could that be. I don't want to talk to anyone. And it's Anna's bags or bag. Her bag has arrived. And he's like, oh, Wyatt, you moving in? Well, the place is wide open. And Anna's like, well, did you complete your survey? Oh, it's in the kitchen. Okay, so what are your goals in life? And Wyatt kind of goes around and he's like, I wanted to be a fireman. And she's like, well, why do you think that's stupid? And he's like, well, my parents did. They wanted me to be important, go into law like Sissy or... And she's like, you know, you never talk about your sister. And Wyatt is like, well, what's there to talk about? She's dead. And Anna is like, you do need to talk. But we'll have to see about getting you to take the fireman's exam. And Wyatt is like, I'm an addict. And Anna is like, well, we'll check into it. That's our first goal right there. Research being a fireman. And Wyatt is like, yeah, you know, I had a rough childhood. And Anna's like, well, you can share more at your pace. Is that your camera? And Wyatt is like, the last tenant left it. And Anna is like, let's take pictures of all the firehouses in town and put them up all over the apartment. And then Wyatt gets a call from D.A. George. And Wyatt is like, where is D.A. Salazan? We had a deal. And D.A. George is like, we're dead. That's why we want to talk to you. And Wyatt is like, okay, well, come by my place. You can come on by now. And Anna is like, should we call a lawyer? And Wyatt is like, why? I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, let's get back to this questionnaire. Okay, so then we have Mitch and Kat chatting. And, you know, Catherine, how do you know Hannah's son? Does Hannah know who you are? And Mitch is like, look, I met him, you know, 10 years ago or whatever. We're just friends. And Hannah knows me as just Mitch. And Kat is like, well, no matter how hard I try to be Catherine Hargrave, it always comes up, Mr. Malone. And he's like, I'm just Mitch. And Kat is like, well, I'll be single soon, Mitch. And I could use a man like you. And Mitch is like, well, how much do you pay? And Kat is like, baby, I don't pay. You gonna be paying me. And I was kind of like, okay, so is she hired? What is she hiring him for? But anyway, I'm like, either she hot or I didn't really, what happened? What was going on? What's good? So then we see Benny and Hannah in the interrogation room plus Veronica. And Benny is saying he can't talk. They're recording everything. And the lawyer, Veronica, is like, they can't use it while I'm in here. And Hannah is like, why are you here? It doesn't make sense. Did you kill anyone? Look at me in my eye and tell me you didn't kill anybody. You didn't kill that boy. And Benny looks at her, Hannah, and he's like, I did not kill Quincy. And Hannah is like, why are you here? Is she new to being black in America? I mean, don't they know that people, especially black people, get locked up all the time for things they didn't do? Anyway, look me in my eye. Why are you here? And then he's like, well, shoot, mama, your guess is as good as mine. And they wanted my DNA. And then Veronica is like, what? You gave it to him? And he's like, they took it. And Veronica leaves to go talk to the supervisor. And his mother, Hannah, I know you're telling the truth. I know you. You didn't kill the boy. You sure it's Jeff Harrington that killed him? It's that girl. Her son is dead. All over the news, and she can't be bothered to call. And then Benny, best brother ever. Well, maybe she's not watching the news. He still believes in her, and she's standing for him. At the end of the last episode, I'm like, she about to go along and then try to figure something out. But homegirl was like, I am not complicit. I do not comply. I do not agree. I am not in favor. I am not going along. That is my bro. And my brother, the brother, Benny, is like, well, my sister ain't seen the news. That's why we ain't heard from her. Okay. And then, you know, he like, well, maybe she's not watching the news, mama. Maybe my sister is not watching the news. That's why she haven't called. And then Hannah's like, and I don't trust that woman. We got to get a lawyer. Who that girl blackmailing now? She's a walking tsunami. Death and destruction. You lost everything. We lost that boy. I wish I could have kept her away from both of you. And then we see Veronica on a cell call, and she's like, Harrison and Downs, Secret Service and Homeland Security. Let me know what you can find out. I'll be waiting. She couldn't find anything out in the police station from the supervisor. I don't even know what kind of language that is. Do they use that in police stations? But anyway. Okay, so then we see Officer Jason and Veronica in the lobby. Veronica doesn't notice him, but he notices her. And Justin grabs Veronica. Delete the video. And Veronica is like, you do it. You don't have the nerve. And then Justin is like, you have no idea what I'm capable of. And Veronica is like, your wife has no idea what you're capable of. And then she like, you twitching? You okay? And then Justin is like, please. And Veronica is like, oh, a new tactic? And then he's like, please give me the video. And Justin is like, are you really going through with this? And really? And then baby girl Veronica, you bet your sweet ass, as in gay, you know. And then Officer Justin is like, you're not going to like the outcome. And Veronica is like, what you gonna do? Hit me with strawberries, rainbows, and feathers? Veronica is a mess. A mess! I tell you, a mess. That Veronica is a mess. Then we see Erica, and she's letting Candace into her room. And Candace is like, I am so frustrated. Let me tell you about what's going on. There's this powerful man I'm dealing with. I can't tell you who it is. I thought I had him. I mean, I put it on him, and his eyes was rolling back in the back of his head. And then I never saw this guy. I never have encountered a guy as crazy as this guy. You know, he's 10 steps ahead of me. And you know, can't nobody get ahead of me. And he's sweet when he's drunk, but when he's sober, he's a beast. And he wants me to trade Benny for Q's murder. And Erica is like, why didn't you tell me about Q being buried in your backyard? It's you know, that might be a good idea. And then Candace hauls off and smacks her, and she's like, you know your place. And I'm not telling you about nobody buried in my backyard, because it's none your business. None ya. He wants me to give up Benny to go free. And Candy slaps her. Oh, that's when she slaps her. And then Candy is like, say it again. Say it again. You were my bottom biatch when I was running things. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just stressed. And Erica is like, well, maybe there is a way around, especially if you put it on him like that. Where are you going? And then Candy is like, I'm not telling you. It's a dog walking down the street. Yes, Bella. I'm not telling you. And you know why I'm not telling you? And the Erica's like, it's none of my business. And Candy is like, because that dress I borrowed from you, when I put it on, I smelled something. I couldn't figure out what it was, but I knew it was familiar. And it's that cheap ASS cologne that War wears. We are cool and all of that, but you know I will throw you out the window. You need to work harder on David. She's saying, I will throw you out the window if you are dealing with War, because Erica's like, oh, no, I'm not dealing with War. No, oh. And then she's like, you need to work. And, you know, on top of that, you need to work harder on David. You should have had his credit card by now. And then Erica's like, I don't like you like this. You are so stressed out. And then Candace leaves. And Erica, who had been holding it together, I had no idea. She runs in the bathroom and she calls War. Come get this bitch. Send somebody. She just slapped me. You can't come. Well, send somebody. Rah! She pissed. And then War, when his underling tells him that somebody is at the mob restaurant, War is like, F the mob. Let's go now. And he's at the restaurant. So War is about to go to war, I guess. Okay, so then we see Veronica, Hannah, Kat, and Mitch at the police station. And Hannah is like, how long is Benny going to be here? And then it's like she got to leave to go plan the funeral. Then we see the suited Asian guy, George, DA George. And he's like, Mrs. Cryer, I want to question you. She's still at the police station, although Hannah has left. DA Salazar is dead. The last place she was seen was at your house. And then Veronica is like, George, is that... you know you need a warrant. You know you can't be questioning people. And then he's like, I can get a warrant. And it's like, well, go get a warrant. I can get a warrant. Well, go do that. That's Veronica telling him, go get a warrant. Don't be out here questioning my people illegally. Okay, so then we see Jeff and Baby Mama in the making, Melissa, in the hospital room, and he's apologizing and she don't want to hear it. Then Doris comes in. We find out that this is Melissa's mother, and she had said that her mama was like Miss Veronica. So here's some of the words that have come from her mouth. Melissa James, you stop being this way. I'm her mother. She not giving you a hard time, is she, Jeff? Are you trying again? She already tried twice as a teenager to kill herself, and now she trying again. Who gonna pay for your treatment? Oh, your mother, Jeffrey? We are not taking handouts, but I know that you are into taking hand jobs. You gay, right? Yeah, your mother told me. Melissa, you have to stop this. I can't bury your father and deal with this. This is best for us. Don't be selfish. This is a nice looking man. Having a baby by him will make everything all right. Now, Jeff, you tell your mama that we got this. And then Melissa, you know, the mama leaves, I guess. And Melissa's like, see? She's like, you're a mother. I'm not okay and it's not going to get better. Just go. And Jeff is like, I'm sorry. And Melissa's like, me too. Bella, you looking at me because my acting is so good? She think I'm crying for real. Okay, so then we see Candace. She's in the hotel room, and Charles, the president-to-be, is coming, and Candace is like coming in. She's like, what? And he's like, I have something to tell you. And she's like, I don't care what it is as long as you leave my brother alone. And he's like, it's about your son. He was shot and he's not okay. And she's like, where? And he's the Fountain Motel. I'm so sorry. She's like, oh, go. Get out. Get out. And then they leave, and then Candace continues crying. She slammed the door, but it didn't, shut. Then she had to close the door again, and she's crying. And she's like, what did I do? What did I do? So now she found out that her son is dead. And I think she was saying, Q, what did I do? Q, what did I do? So now all of the people who were really upset and concerned because the child didn't know that the child was dead, now she knows that the child is dead. And those men look like, it was kind of like they look like, oh my gosh, this is a bad situation. And it is a bad situation. Then we see Veronica and Kat outside, and Veronica is throwing gasoline. And Kat is like, what are you doing? And Veronica is like, I'm burning this mother down, the evidence. And then Veronica is like, now, light the match. You sure Jim is not in there? And then Kat lights the match, and she's like, throws it. Who cares? And that's what we got for the haves and the have-nots last night's episode. I'm like the woman from Insecure. I clap after every sentence if I want to. When we getting that habit? Anyway, fabulous. It's the best day ever. I'm feeling much, much better today. So we got part 2 of Greenleaf coming on tonight. I got to do my review for Greenleaf and Being Mary Jane. Both of them were excellent last night. Being Mary Jane, we loved it, and Greenleaf. So that's what we got. So hopefully I'll be able to get to everything today. I got a meeting I got to get ready for tonight. But other than that, you know, that's what we got. So today is, did I say the best day ever? Well, I'm saying it again. If I said it before, you, be fabulous, you. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.